Of course, I had to make this song about you right here. Yeah. I told you I was gonna make this song about you right here. Yeah.
Hi everyone, so today I'm going to be filming my makeup routine. This is my go-to glam whenever I need to like have a full face of makeup. I just switch up like my eyes every now and again, my lip, but in terms of the base, all those like essential parts of your makeup routine, it stays very much the same. Just done my brows off of camera and I filled my brows in using the Revolution brow pen and the Revolution brow pencil, both in the color dark brown. Now I'm going to conceal my brows. Just use any concealer that's your favorite. I've been using this since I started doing my makeup and it's the LA Girl Pro concealer. This does not do me dirty. I only use it on my eyebrows though. I don't use it anywhere else on my face, but this is literally the key. And I know my face looks really dry, but I need to do my eyebrows with my face completely dry and completely free from any prep, so that's why my skin looks very dry at this moment. We're just gonna ignore that. Okay, so my eyebrows are done, so now I'm gonna go on to my prep. And for prep I'm gonna be using the vitamin E hydrating skin mist, and I'm also going to be using the Boots Everyday Moisturizing Cream just to hydrate my skin. I like to keep it really basic before I do my makeup. I also will go in with my primer, Elf Power Grip Primer. This is so good. Love this primer. Also we'll be going in with some loose powder. This helps with like oils, so I put it anywhere where I get oily. That can be like my T-zone, it can also be my smile lines, just to make sure that no extra oil kind of pushes through. And then I also spray setting spray, so to have a layer of setting spray before I put my makeup on and obviously a layer after, so you have like this double barrier. So I like to have a layer of setting spray, a layer of powder, a layer of primer to kind of stop any oil. Then if any oil does like break through, you have setting spray again, powder again, which kind of locks in that oil. This is not my favorite setting spray. Sorry to all the girls that love this. I also forgot, I like to put eyeshadow primer in my smile lines as well, because that helps with creasing too. That's a top tip. Eyeshadow primer is great, not just for creasing on the eyes, but for creasing anywhere else on the face really. Today I'm testing out the Laura Mercier Flawless Lumiere Radiance Perfecting Foundation. Why was that such a mouthful for me to say? Yeah, it's like an illuminating radiance foundation, so I'm excited to see if it will look good on my skin. The shade 6W1 in Ganache, so let's give this a try. That's the shade we're working with. It's a bit warmer, it's a bit orange. I like my foundations a little bit more neutral, but I think I can work with it. In terms of the way I like to wear foundation, I like my foundation to look like my skin but better. I like it to look like I'm not wearing foundation basically. I don't usually wear illuminating foundations because I have oily skin. I would say this is like very dewy and this looks like I'm wearing makeup. I don't know, it might be a good match. I might just be delusional, but it's a bit too warm for me. I prefer like more neutral foundations. I'm actually not mad at it. For concealer, I'm going to be using my go-to, my Too Faced concealers. So I love the Born This Way concealers. I'm going to be using the color Chestnut and Honey. So Chestnut is my base and then I go on top with Honey as like a brightening concealer. And then sometimes if I'm in the mood for like a super bright under eye, I will go in with this Zoeva concealer, and this is the Authentic Skin Perfector in the color 130 for real, and this is a very bright. Or sometimes I go in with my Chem Beauty Like Butter concealer shade Shorty. This is again pretty bright. This is a bit more like peachy toned, which I think goes better with my skin tone, but this is like pure bright. Like this is really going to make your makeup bright. So yeah, those are like my concealer options. When I'm applying my concealer, I always pop it on the back of my hand. I'm getting makeup everywhere in my robe. And then I take a flat concealer brush and I actually warm the concealer up on the back of my hand. I just feel like it applies better and it sits better on my skin this way. So I like to start applying in the inside of my eye, and then I will apply on the outside, take it down the bridge of my nose, forehead and chin, and then I'll go on top with the lighter shade as well. So I put all of my shades on at the same time, apart from like my super bright shade. You also want to make sure that your concealer, you're using it to lift. So I'm always kind of like pointing upwards because I want to lift my face, I want to lift my eye area, I want to make everything just look super snatched. I'm just following the way my eye, so if you look at your eye, you can kind of see and trace your bottom eye. So you just want to get really close to your bottom lash line and trace upwards, and that will give you like a natural lift. So it's just following your eyes, the direction your eyes are going in. I really do think you shouldn't watch the way like I do my makeup or anyone else does their makeup. You need to be able to look at your own face and highlight your own features and make your makeup just really stand out for you and your own face. And I think once I learned that I can't mimic and I can't take anyone's makeup style and replicate it on my face to an extent, is when I really do feel like I was able to do makeup in a way that really looked good on me and my skin tone and my bone structure and my eye shape and just the way my face is. So you just want to enhance what you have rather than mimicking what someone else has. So yeah, that's my little tip for the day. And I'm gonna put honey on top, just like that, and just like that. And I only do that in the corner. I'm gonna let this sit for a couple of minutes. Okay, whilst we let this sit on our face, I'm gonna go into my curve case, my favorite thing in the whole entire world. And I'm going to use this to bronze my face, make my face, bring a bit of warmth and dimension to my face. Contour really should be like a cool tone to mimic shadow. I don't use a cool tone, which technically isn't right, but you know. These two shades right here in the middle, and I use like a mixture of both, so I just dip my brush into both. And what I'm going to do, this is really important for me personally, my bone, the hollowness of my cheeks is about here, but I don't place my contour here, I place my contour just slightly above, so that when I blend it, it kind of naturally sits just in that hollow of my cheek, just slightly above. And I don't bring it all the way down, I just keep it here. So again, on this side of my face, I'm just placing it just above the hollows of my cheek. I like to put it right at the base of my jaw, and I just drag like that. So like just to put a little bit here. And I'm also going to bronze my forehead, so I put a little bit here, either side of my forehead, and then just on my temples. Okay, once all the placement is on my face, then you want to blend upwards. The key for your contour is blending upwards. So for my jaw, I kind of blend in like a circular motion, and I like to keep it really light. So I might go in with a bit more product, but I really do feel like less is more, and it's hard to take away, it's easy to add. So just start off with a really small amount, and then if you feel like you want to be a bit more bronze, if you feel like you want to be a bit more warm, if you feel like you want a deeper contour, go in with more product, and just gauge it as you go along, but try not to add too much product the first time you go in. Also, if you're going to use this curve case, it is very pigmented, so you definitely do want to start with a small amount. I think I'm going to go in with Peony because it's just such a pretty pink. Can't go wrong with a beautiful pink. So I've put a little bit on the back of my hand, and I'm just going to apply it. That's so pretty. Don't need a lot of this at all. Like, it's really pigmented. I think I'm even probably wearing too much. Let me blend out my under eye and then we can get into the splash like properly. Using a damp sponge, it's damp but it's not like dripping wet, key, because I've found out that people are using their sponges dripping wet. Don't do that, please. I'm gonna put a little bit of that Zoeva concealer right on the inner corner of my eye just to help make it a little bit brighter. And I'm gonna use the sponge, and this is just gonna give that like little airbrushed look. Blending is key, guys. I blend for a long time, and I think when you wear brighter concealers, you need to blend. I really do think that's like the key. Spend time on blending, spend time on making sure that everything looks good. It shouldn't look like, you shouldn't be able to tell she's wearing a concealer 3-4 shades lighter. Like, it should, I personally think it should like all blend together really, really nicely. So yeah, I'm just gonna blend away, so you can watch me blend or you can skip. So I started doing my nose contour, but basically I use the same shades I use my outer face on my nose, and I kind of just put it up in my brow bone, and then I highlight my nose, and I just blend that out, and I will blend out the highlight as well. I'm gonna blend out the cream, the blush now, and I'm just gonna use this big brush to blend it all out. It's very pigmented, guys. I think I actually have used way too much. Blend this out a bit more, and I'll come back once it's like blended a bit better. Now I'm going to go in with my Laura Mercier powder, and I'm going to use this to set my under eyes, my smile lines, my forehead, just set all the places that get creasy. So this is my first loose powder that I use. This is in the shade Translucent, so it does brighten my face just a tiny bit. I'm going to go in with the powder puff and pop that into the powder that I deposited into the lid. This is what your powder puff should look like, and then I'm going to take my skin and just kind of like pat off any excess. I'm going to go in with my sponge in the same hand. I don't know how I do this. I'm going to blend, I'm going to get rid of any kind of creases, because once you set your under eyes, you're going to set it with those creases. So you want to make sure there's no creases in your under eyes. So there's no creases, you just want to go in and lightly press. I just set everywhere that I highlighted, so my chin, forehead. I also set my smile lines, and I set above my lip. And I'm going to go in with this powder foundation from Becca, and using a fluffy brush, I'm going to dip it into the powder foundation and just kind of go back on top. So I just like to do this to kind of blend everything in. This kind of like just adds a layer of like perfecting to my face. I'm going to go into my Morphe palette, and I'm going to use these two shades here. Using another angled fluffy brush, just dust off any excess, and I'm going to just go on top of where I did my contour and just set my contour. And then I usually like to take powder brush, like a big fluffy powder brush, and I'm going to go into my NARS bronzer, dust off any excess, and I'm just going to go on top and sweep that bronzer just to like warm up my face, and also to like, I don't know, I just feel like this kind of helps with that like really harsh look sometimes I get when I set my cream contour. I put that everywhere, like the sun would kind of hit my face. I'm setting with Peony, so this is the pressed powder, and it's like a highlighter pink. It's so bright, so bright. I already know and love the powder, so to have the powder and the cream combo It's like a dream. Like, that is so gorgeous. I always like to put a little bit on my nose. I'm gonna go in again with loose powder, and I'm gonna be using Huda Beauty Loose Baking and Setting Powder. I really use this Huda Beauty powder just for brightening. So I'm gonna pour a little bit into a lid. Do the exact same thing of tapping off the excess, and then I'm going to concentrate this in my inner corner to help shape out to reverse contour my nose, and also to help brighten my inner corner of my eye. Taking this, and I'm just using it to kind of shape out my nose, and then just gently dabbing the rest of the powder into the skin. So it's not really baking, but it kind of is baking, but just not baking with like an excessive amount of powder. My camera died, so I'm not too sure where my camera just gave up and was saying I'm not recording anymore. However, I've done my eye, and I've used a little bit of the hydrating skin mist to add a bit of hydration back into my face. So now I'm literally, oh, and I've also done like my beauty marks. So now I'm just going to do my lip combo, which is, I'm going to share that with you right now. I'm going to be using this dark brown liner that I got from the hair shop, and I'm also going to be using a little bit of Morphe Trendsetter. I usually use Chestnut by MAC, but I cannot find that lip liner, and I'm getting stressed because that lip liner is like £20, so I need to find it ASAP. But yeah, you get the gist. Trendsetter and Chestnut by MAC are very, very similar. This is actually discontinued, so I don't know what I'm going to be doing when I finish these, but I bought about 3 or 4 boxes, so I have quite a few of them. And then I think today I'm going to go in with this liquid lipstick from Wycon Cosmetics, and I'm going to be using this right in the center of my lips. I also use Athens by NYX, but I have barely anything left of this, and these two shades are they're pretty similar. This is a bit more pigmented than the NYX product. And then for my glosses, I always line my lips again with the NYX Butter Gloss in Lava Cake. This is so dark, beautiful to line your lips, to like gloss them. And I think I'm going to be using, I'm not too sure what I'm going to use actually. Let me just do my lips and I will see what I use, but yeah.
Yeah, I know, right? That's what they all say. That's what they all say. Whoosh, hooper. Rolling through your city, I'm a hooper. You do me, I'ma do ya. Full time, we gon' see who's the loser. The loser. Amen, hallelujah. Rolling through your city, I'm a hooper. You do me, I'ma do ya. Full time, we gon' see who's the loser. The loser.